All right, Quiz Friday, practice, practice, practice. Here we go. All right, number 1 through 4, all you had to do was rewrite the integral in terms of u. You didn't have to evaluate it. I will give you the answer in case you want to practice and evaluate it. But here we were already told u, so all we had to do was find du, which would be 12x squared dx. When you look back at your original problem, you need a negative 36x squared dx. So we need to multiply this by negative 3 to get a negative 36x squared. So this will rewrite as u squared negative 3 du, and that's what we're integrating. And I'm changing the limits of my integration, so I'm going to plug x equals 0. Remember, these are x values. I'm going to plug that in over here to find u values. So 0 cubed times 4 is 0, so it's going to be negative 3. Plug in 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. So that's a simplified version of that. And if you go ahead and evaluate that, you should get the answer of negative 28. Remember, integrate, then evaluate. All right, number 2, take du, which is 8x dx. We need 16x, so we're going to have to double this. Now we have a match, and we're going to rewrite this as 1 over u squared as u to the negative 2, 2 du. I still haven't integrated. I'm going to change these x equals values to u values. 0 plus 4 would give me 4. And I plug in 1, and I'm going to get 8. Which I'm running out of room here, so I should have an 8 there. All right, number 3, take your derivative, which is 3x squared. When you look up in your original problem, you need a negative 6x squared dx, so I'm going to multiply this one by negative 2. Now I have a match, so I'd have negative 2 u cubed du. Change my x equals values to u values. So negative 1 cubed will be negative 1, minus 1 will be a negative 2. 1 cubed is 1, minus 1 will be 0. Now we could also, we'll leave that. We could also put that negative 2 out front. Could write it either way. And the answers for 2 and 3, I forgot to write the answer for 2 of you. Actually, go ahead and finish that. You should get 1/4. And for 3, you should get an answer of 8. All right, number 4, we're given our u. We're going to take the derivative of that. Well, that is a complete match. That 1 over u squared, I'm going to write that as u to the negative 2 du. Change the limits of my integration. Negative 1 squared will be 1, plus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4, plus 1 is 5. And for number 4, if we go ahead and finish this, you should get an answer of 3/10. All right, 5 through 8, you had to determine on your own. You had to find u and complete the integration to find the actual value. So in number 5, I let u be the base of my exponent. So u was 3x squared plus 3 du equals 6x dx. Well, we need negative 18x dx, so I multiplied by negative 3. Now I have my match. So this is going to be u to the negative 2, negative 3 du. I still have to integrate. I changed mine to u values. So when u was negative 3, I'm sorry, when x was negative 3, u would be negative 3 squared is 9, times 3 is 27, plus 3 would be 30. And then I'm going to plug in negative 1, and I end up with 6. And I'm going to change this so that my larger numbers on the top, when you do that, it changes the sign of your integral. So it's going to end up being 3, the integration from 6 to 30, u to the negative 2 du. So when I do that, I'm going to add 1, I'm going to get u to negative 1 over negative 1 times that 3, and I got to evaluate it at 6 and 30. So this will just make this a negative 3. So I plug in 30. That's a 1 over 30. Minus, what I get when I plug in 6. And I go ahead and do the work here. Basically, end up with a negative 1/10 plus 1/2, which will give me 2/5. All right, number 6, I'm going to let u equal x cubed plus 2. So du is 3x squared dx. I'm good except for the, yeah, no, that's good. There I got 3x squared dx. So basically I have the integration, and I'm keeping the negative, so I'm going to put that out front, of u cubed du. Now I'm going to change my limits of integration. Negative 1 cubed will be negative 1 plus 2 will be 1. 1 cubed will be 1 plus 2 is 3. Now I need to integrate. I'm going to add 1, so I end up with a u to the 4th over 4 from 1 to 3. So I'm going to plug in 3. Minus what I get when I plug in 1. And this will be negative 81/4 plus 1/4, which will be negative 80 over 4, which is negative 20. All right, number 7, I let u equal x squared plus 1. Du will equal 2x dx. I need 6x dx, so I'm going to multiply by 3. So this will turn into the integral of 3 u to the negative 2 du. Changing my limits of integration, negative 3 squared 9 plus 1 will be 10. Plug in negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1 is 2. Now I'm going to integrate, and I'm going to end up with 3 times u to the negative 1 over negative 1, which will make this a negative 3. And I'm going to plug in 2 first, so it'll be negative 3 over 2 minus what I get when I plug in 10, which would be negative 3 over 10. So I end up with negative 3 halves plus 3 tenths, which would be negative 15 tenths plus 3 tenths, which will be negative 12 tenths, and that reduces to negative 6 fifths. And the last one, 8, I'm going to let u be 2x squared plus 2. So du will equal 4x dx. Complete match, I'm good to go. So 1 over u squared, so I'm basically integrating u to the negative 2 du. Plug 0 in here for x, and I'm going to get 2. Plug in 2, and I'm going to get 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Now I integrate, and I'm going to end up with negative 1 over u. Plug in 10, negative 1/10 minus negative 1/2, which will turn that into plus. Make this a common denominator of 10, so that'll be 5 tenths. I add these and I get 4 tenths, which is 2 fifths. We really need to be careful here with the signs. That's where we tend to make errors. Don't forget to integrate. Be careful with your math. All right, that's it.